As the Crystal Cathedral's founding pastor, Dr. Schuller is seen and heard internationally every Sunday from the pulpit of the Crystal Cathedral on the world's first and most widely watched hour-long church service, the Hour of Power. He's a pastor, speaker, motivator, and author, appreciated by countless millions worldwide for his ability to encourage and inspire. I have about 100 questions I'd like to ask this man, but I think I'm going to narrow it down to just one and let him do all the talking. Let's go meet Dr. Robert Schuller. Pastor Schuller, thank you so much for hosting this Rethink conference. Much is being made, and take this anywhere you want to take it, because it's a broad question, about Christ in culture. Specifically, what is there about Christ in culture that's being ignored by Christians?
How can I answer that? Because I have just finished a book, 300 pages, and I don't know if I'm going to publish it or not. It's the most important thing I've done in my life, because it calls in serious question a theme that has been too dominant in Christian history, and that's the subject of sin. I have been accused of never preaching against sin. That, when somebody says that, they're exposing themselves. They don't know it. They're exposing the fact that they lack faith. They don't have enough faith to believe that maybe I'm doing something good. The core of sin that I was taught in a Dutch Reformed seminary is that the core of sin enters the unborn child, and that is rebellion against God. I touch on that. That's what a book is about. The deepest sin, the core of real biblical sin, is not rebellion against God. Oh, that's a part of every human being. But what does it? Where does it come from? If it's in the fetus before it's a human, if it's in a child before they're born, where did it come from? Where does bad and evil things come into good, intelligent, kind, wonderful people? Why would any human being choose to rebel, that's a strong word, against God, the God of Abraham, the God that Jesus called my Father, the God of love? Why would intelligent humans intentionally, immediately at the conception in the womb, choose to rebel against God? I've asked that question for 50 years, and I've asked it for some pretty darn heavy theologians, and they can't answer it. I answer it. Where does it come from? I have also had the benefit of teaching from great psychologists. Viktor Frankl and I worked this out together. He was Jewish, I'm Christian. We now know that where there is lack of trust, lack of faith in myself or my ideas, where there is lack of faith, it always produces tension, stress, most importantly, defensive behavior. That's critical. So the truth of the Bible is, it doesn't say in the Bible that rebellion against God is the original sin. I'll tell you what it says. Without faith, it is impossible to please God. And the original sin is lack of faith. And that produces rebellion against God. So why don't we start, if we started in our theology by saying, I'm going to share the gospel with you. It starts with the thing called sin. And what is that? Without faith, it's impossible to please God.
Wow, that was like my own personal sermon. What a wonderful man who no doubt has achieved things in the American church that few can claim. Now stay tuned for more from the Rethink Conference in Garden Grove, California.
Stay tuned for more of the Danny Fontana Show